Now, officials claimed they're keeping a close eye on the money sent to Kyiv, while also admitting the conflict could last another 3 years.
I think we have had a lot of oversight on this effort from the very beginning. Right now, and I've asked this question, we are getting every single weapon system that we can to Ukraine. There is not a decision being made about that might be escalatory.
Can you tell us roughly how much money has been given total to the Ukrainian war effort since we began last year?
Well, it depends a little bit how you count it, but I believe it's over 113 billion approximately.
I think the point from our matter of U.S. policy is that the importance of getting after corruption in Ukraine or anywhere else is at the top of our points of emphasis with Ukrainian leaders.
Well, happy to say we can cross live to former U.S. Marine Corps intelligence officer and ex-UN weapons inspector Scott Ritter for his take. Scott, hello. The hearing essentially opened with the chairman claiming Washington has had a great deal of oversight since the very beginning of the conflict. So it begs the question, really, then why would it be necessary to conduct a public hearing on the matter a full year later?
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is there's been no oversight, zero oversight by the United States to the $115 billion worth of assistance, not just military, but financial assistance to Ukraine. I had to laugh when he said, dealing with Ukrainian corruption is at the top of the list. No, it's at the bottom of the list, because if it was at the top of the list, you would never have given Ukraine any money because you can't account for it. The fact of the matter is there's little doubt that 60-70% of the financial resources that the United States provided to Ukraine has disappeared, isn't getting to the intended target, has been sequestered by the innumerable corrupt hands that are reaching out to be padded by American dollars. And on the military side, again, notice the non-answers. We're investigating. We don't have an answer. If you've been on top of this from the very beginning, you'd have an answer. There are no answers because we're not on the top of it. And the reason why we're not on the top of it is because we wouldn't be able to do this if the truth came out to the American people about how over $115 billion of U.S. taxpayer money has been squandered in Ukraine.
Several committee members inquired about F-16 fighter jet deliveries, only to be told it would take more than a year in the best case scenario. Why, Scott, do you think Kyiv is still pushing the matter in that case?
I think right now the Zelensky government is desperate to find any straw to hang on to. The ship is sinking, and they know it, but they're trying to fool themselves by covering their defeat with Leopard tanks, Abrams tanks, Bradley vehicles, and now in the final act of desperation, F-16 fighters. But even if these fighter aircraft could be provided, they wouldn't have a meaningful impact on the battlefield. It's ludicrous, and I'm glad to see the Biden administration isn't entertaining this nonsense.
Just a final thought on something else the speaker said. They mentioned the U.S. is getting every possible weapon system it can to Ukraine without considering whether or not it's escalatory. Your view on that level of thought being put into making decisions on lethal aid?
It's ridiculous. It's irresponsible. Early on, there was talk about managing escalation, to be careful not to be seen as crossing Russian red lines. Right now, we see, given the desperation, not just the Zelensky government, but frankly, the United States and NATO, to manage the impending defeat. I think it's, the Secretary General, Jens Stoltenberg, indicated Ukraine runs out of 155 millimeter artillery ammunition sometime this summer, and there's nothing NATO can do to replace it. And when that happens, it's game, set, match. It's all over. And everybody knows this. They acknowledge this. So what they're doing right now is trying to create political cover for their defeat by saying we've done everything we can to assist the Ukrainians in their struggle against Russia.
Someone agreeing with your viewpoint there as well, I think. Scott, thanks very much for your time today. Always good to hear your view. It is something I'm sure we will return to. Scott Ritter, former U.S. Marine Corps intelligence officer, live on the programme.